Welcome back. Okay, welcome. Espera un momento. My arm hurts today. Welcome to a new class, to class number 82. Okay, we're progressing very, very adequately, in my opinion. We're making good progress. I'm delighted with the results of this program. I'm really happy. I'm pleased with your progress. I'm satisfied with your progress. You're making satisfactory progress. You're progressing in line with my expectations. Expectations. I have high expectations, and I'm glad to see that you're fulfilling my expectations. You're working and progressing in line with, en línea con, en consonante con, in line with my expectations. Okay, let's review our translation list from yesterday, but on camera number 1, okay? All right. Very good. See, saw, seen. Every day I see, yesterday I saw, lately, últimamente he visto. Lately I've seen. I see Maria every day. I saw her yesterday, and lately I've seen her hasta en la sopa. Okay, I've seen her everywhere. Okay, translation list. Siento que perdieras. I'm sorry you lost. Me alegro de que perdieras. I'm glad you lost. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry you're here. I'm glad you're progressing. I'm sorry you're progressing. Okay? I'm glad you like living in Spain. I'm sorry that you don't like living in Spain. I'm glad, I'm sorry. Me alegro, lamento. Me alegro, lamento. I'm glad, I'm sorry. I'm glad, I'm sorry. Okay? I'm glad to know that you're physically fit. I'm sorry to know that you're having health problems. Okay. Dime lo que estás pensando. Dime. Tell me. Come on. Ande ya. Dime. Tell me what you're thinking. Come on. You'll tell me tomorrow. No, don't tell me tomorrow. Tell me now. Yeah, come on. Tell me now. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking. Claro, cuando la gente no entiende inglés es porque decimos ciertas palabras de una forma tan rápido. Tell me what you are. It's your. Tell me what you're thinking. Come on. No dijeron a dónde iban. Se fueron. They left. And they didn't say where they were going. I don't know where they were going because they didn't tell me. They didn't say. They didn't tell me. They didn't say. They didn't tell me. They didn't say. No existe say me, excepto Lionel Richie, que estropeó 8 años de mi enseñanza en un solo día, cuando grabó la canción Say You, Say Me. Llevaba 8 años enseñando a esa edad. Tell me. Pero Lionel Richie no decía dime, decía di yo, di tú. Say you, say me, say table, say ceiling, say cup. Okay. No dijeron, they didn't say. No me dijeron, they didn't tell me. They didn't tell me where they were going. O sea, literalmente no me dijeron dónde estaban yendo. En español diríais a dónde iban. No dijeron a dónde iban. Se fueron con la idea de volver, pero no dijeron a dónde iban. They didn't say where they were going. Okay? Ella estaba segura. She was sure. She was certain. She was sure. She was sure. Mucho SH inglés de tipo chiquillo. Sure. Yeah. She was sure. She was sure. Estaba segura de que ganaría la apuesta. She was sure she would win the bet. She was sure she would win the bet. Mucho shush aquí, como shusha. She was sure she would win the bet. She sells seashells by the seashore. She was sure she would win. Y luego mucho W también. She would win. Would. Cuando se usa el condicional con would, es todo en la punta de la boca. Es un beso. Wow. Would. Muchos españoles tocáis algo en la garganta diciendo good, casi como bueno. Would. She was sure she would win the bet. ¿A dónde vas? Where are you going? The class is not over yet. Where are you going? Te voy a poner una falta. If I'm going to mark you as absent, if you leave now, where are you going? To the kitchen? Go to the kitchen after the class, okay? Pero ¿qué haces? What are you doing? 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 También se dice, what you doing? What you doing? Los nativos decimos esas dos cosas. What are you doing? What you doing? Y algunos en Gran Bretaña, what are you doing? What are you? Okay. And where are you going? Where are you going? ¿Es esto lo que quieres? Is this what you want? My friend? Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Is this what you want? What you? Is this what you want? All right. Yo puedo entenderlo. A veces hay grupos musicales aquí que no hablan inglés y dicen what you, cuando quieren imitar un angloparlante. Porque así suena. Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Lists and more lists? Okay. You can have them. Estoy sorprendido por los resultados. I'm surprised. I'm surprised by the results. I'm surprised by the results. I'm surprised at the results. I'm surprised. Are you surprised? I'm surprised. Are you surprised? I'm surprised. Surprised. ¿Lo oís? Intentad emularlo. Practicad ese pequeño uso fonético de la S más la T al final de una palabra. Surprised. Okay. Nadie creía que terminarían tan pronto. Nobody thought they would finish so soon. Nobody thought they would finish so soon. Y uso el verbo to finish porque es personal. Hablo de ellos. Si fuera impersonal, it probablemente usaría la palabra end. El verbo to end es terminar, pero cuando son cosas o procesos. Finish cuando son personas. Esta clase terminará cuando yo la termine. This class will end when I finish it. Okay? So, but I'm not finished yet, so don't go away. Forman un equipo fantástico. Formamos. Vamos a ponerlo en first person plural, you and me. We form a fantastic team. Trabajamos bien juntos, profesor y alumno. We work well together. We work well. 3 W seguidas. We work well together. Nos entendemos los dos. We understand each other, los unos a los otros. We understand each other. They understand each other. We are looking at each other and we're talking to each other. Okay? All right. I'll be back in a few minutes after our next teacher to continue with Vaughan Inglés 4.0.
Thank you, Richard. Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah, and I'm back here again with you. And today we're going to do a review of our previous class. So pay attention and let's get started. But let's say hello to Annette, my student first. Hi, Annette.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm great. Are you ready for the review?
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go. Did you see me yesterday?
I didn't see you yesterday.
Okay, repeat. So, no.
No, I didn't see you yesterday.
Okay, now answer in affirmative.
Yes, I saw you yesterday.
Muy bien. Okay, so sí, presente, pasado, saw. Saw, okay? It's a verbo irregular. Yes, I saw you yesterday. Pronunciación, saw. Así, saw. Mucha gente dice saw. Saw. ¿Qué es saw? No. Saw. So, did you see me yesterday?
Yes, I saw you yesterday.
Perfect. Have you seen your neighbor today?
No, I haven't seen my neighbor today.
Muy bien. No, I haven't seen my neighbor today. Seen is el participio pasado, the past participle. Ask me if I've seen my neighbor today.
Have you seen your neighbor today?
No, I haven't seen my neighbor today. Did you see your boss last week?
No, I didn't saw my boss.
Oh.
I didn't see my boss last week.
Okay, muy bien. So repeat again.
I didn't see my boss last week.
Good. Ahora en afirmativo.
I saw my boss last week.
Very good. Muy bien. Okay, ask me if I've seen my parents this week.
Have you seen your parents this week?
No, I haven't seen my parents this week because they're all the way in California, bastante lejos. So, no, I haven't seen my parents this week. Great. Now let's continue with translation list. Here we go. Number 1. Siento que perdieras tanto dinero.
I'm sorry you lost so much money.
Very good. I'm sorry you lost so much money. Tanto is so much. Remember, incontable, so much money. Dime lo que estás pensando.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Very good. Repeat again.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Perfect. Excellent. Tell me what you're thinking. And I hope you didn't say, I hope, really, que no habéis dicho, tell me what are you thinking. No, no. Tell me what you're thinking. No dijeron a dónde iban.
They didn't say where they went.
Where they
Go.
were going.
They didn't say where they were going.
Excellent, muy bien. They didn't say where they were going. Ella estaba segura de que ganaría la apuesta.
She was sure she win. No, she was sure she would win the bet.
Eso, muy bien.
She was sure she would win the bet.
Eso es. Let me repeat. She was sure she would win the bet. Y bet. Remember, los labios tocan aquí. Bet. Bet. Y te al final. ¿A dónde vas?
Where do you go?
Como presente continuo.
Where are you going?
Okay, where are you going? Where are you going? Como en el momento ahora. ¿A dónde vas? Literalmente, ¿a dónde estás yendo? So, where are you going? Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Good. Where are you going? Don't go anywhere. Stay here. Where are you going? ¿Qué haces?
What are you doing?
Eso es. Good. So, what are you doing? Literalmente, ¿qué estás haciendo? What are you doing? Well, you're watching us. You're studying with us. You're practicing your English with us. Presente continuo. ¿Es esto lo que quieres?
Is this what you want?
Perfect. Repeat.
Is this what you want?
Very good. Is this, esto, is this what you want? Estoy sorprendido por los resultados.
I'm surprised about.
By.
No, I'm surprised by your
Los resultados.
your results.
The results.
I'm surprised by the results.
Muy bien. I'm surprised by the results. Aquí sorprendido por, ese por es la preposición by. Okay, so ojo aquí, by. I'm surprised by the results. Nadie creía que terminarían tan pronto.
Nobody thought they would. Nobody thought they would finish so quickly.
Okay, good. Or so soon.
Nobody thought they would finish so soon.
Muy bien. Let me repeat. Nobody thought they would finish so soon or so quickly. Los dos. And the last one, forman un equipo fantástico.
They make a good team.
Okay, good.
A fantastic team.
Yes. They make or they form a fantastic team. They make a fantastic team or they form a fantastic team. Uno más. Trabajan bien juntos.
They work well together.
Okay, they work well together. And we have time for the last one. Se entienden los unos a los otros. They understand each other. Unos a los otros. Okay, great job. Keep practicing and I'll see you next time. And back to Richard. Bye-bye.
Welcome back. Listen, I'm going to look down for just a second. I'm going to look down at the papers. And after I look down at the papers, I'm going to look up at you, okay? Okay? Now watch. Now, on the count of 3, I'm going to look down. 1, 2, 3. On the count of 3, I'm going to look up at you. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm looking at you because a few seconds ago I was looking down and then I looked up at you. Now, on camera 1, I'm going to teach you a different, more important usage, usaje se dice en inglés, uso, of look up. Let's change. To look up, claro, to look up. I'm looking up. Yes. Sometimes if you're in the street and you look up, people who are walking by will look up too. To look up es mirar hacia arriba. To look up. All right. But to look up is buscar en plan de consulta. No buscar porque hayas perdido nada. Buscar. Búscalo in a diccionario. Look it up in the dictionary. If you don't know the meaning of a word, look it up. If you don't know the meaning of 2 words, look them up. The Muppets, the Mupp, look them up. Look it up, look them up. Look him up. Hasta se puede decir, le voy a buscar a él en la guía telefónica. I'm going to look him up. Yeah, if you don't know a telephone number of a person, look him up. Or look it up. Look up the number in the dictionary, in the telephone book. You can look it up. I remember one, this is true. You're not going to believe me, okay? But it's true, what I'm going to say. There was a baseball player in the United States about 30 years ago, a pitcher, el que tira, el lanzador, a pitcher who had a prodigious memory. And he memorized, como apuesta, there was a bet. He memorized the telephone book in a small town of 10,000 people. But he memorized the telephone book and repeated it, okay? So he didn't need, if he needed to call somebody in that town, he didn't need to look up the number because he had memorized the names, the addresses, and the telephone numbers of about 5,000 or 10,000 people. I don't believe it, but I have heard and I have read that it's true. So this person not only played baseball, but he also had a prodigious memory. And he didn't need to look up the numbers. Okay, to look up is buscar, pero no buscar por haber perdido algo. Eso es to look for. To look up is buscar en plan de consulta. El horario de los trenes. To look up, I'm going to look up. Let's see, I want to go from Madrid to Descarga María. Descarga María is a town in Cáceres, all right? And I want to look up the train schedule, what time the train from Madrid to Descarga María, okay? To look up. Look it up. If you don't know the meaning of a word, look it up. Look it up se entiende en este caso en el diccionario. También podemos añadir en el diccionario. Look it up in the dictionary. Look it up. No puedes decir look up it. It tiene que ir en medio. Igual que them, si son 2 palabras. Look them up. Look them up. Look them up. Ahora bien, si dices el sustantivo y no el pronombre de dicho sustantivo, es opcional. En medio o después. Look up the word. Look up the meaning, el significado. Or look the word up, look the meaning up. You decide which you prefer. Probably, it's easier for you just to say in the middle always. That way, no confusion. Look it up, look the word up. Look them up, look the meanings up. All right? To look up. Y luego se dice para personas a veces, oye, si pasas por Madrid, búscame. O sea, ponte en contacto, llámame, búscame. Se dice muchísimo. If you pass through Madrid, if you're passing through Madrid, look me up. Yeah. You can find my name in the telephone book. You can look up my number in the telephone book. Yeah. One time, about 10 years ago, an old friend of mine from the 1960s was in Spain, and he found me by looking me up in the telephone book, in the Madrid telephone book. and he found my number. He looked it up and he called. He said, my God, Bob, is it you? What are you doing here? He looked up my number in the telephone book. All right, now, for example, the word, let me think of a word, bewildered. Do you know what bewildered means? Bewitched and bewildered. Do you know what bewildered means? You don't know. Well, look it up in the dictionary. If you don't know the meaning of bewildered, look it up in the dictionary. I'm not going to tell you. Well, I'll tell you. It means desconcertado. Disconcerted. It's bewildered. My God. Okay? Bewildered. And bewitched, bajo un embrujo, bajo una, just un encantamiento. It's you're bewitched. Look it up in the dictionary. If you don't know the meaning of a word, look it up. Look it up. Look it up. If you don't know the meaning of several words, look them up. Look them up. Look them up. Okay. Fijaos en la fonética aquí, ¿eh? Look it up. Look them up. Look it up. Look them up. Estamos enlazando. La T de it se enlaza con la U de up. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. Puede ser hasta endurecer la T más. Look it up. Top, como Tupperware. Tupperware. Top. Look it up. Y luego, look them up, si son varios. Los significados, pues búscalos en el diccionario. Look them up. Mup. Como los teleñecos, en inglés se llama the Muppets. The Mupp. Look them up. Una mopa. Look them up. Look them up. If you don't know the meanings, look them up. All right. For several years, during the 70s and the 80s, and part of the 90s, I spent a lot of hours translating documents. And I spent a lot of time looking up words. Probably in my life, I've looked up 500,000, maybe 100,000 words. It's a lot of words. I've spent a lot of time looking up words in the dictionary. Now with electronic dictionaries, it's much faster. But when I was translating, I used a normal standard dictionary. And I spent a lot of time looking up words. But I'm not going to look up any words now because I have to say goodbye for a moment, but I'll come back. Okay, to look up. Remember, when you don't know the meaning of a word, you look it up. You don't look for it. Si tú dices, I'm looking for a word in the dictionary, say, has perdido una palabra. A lo mejor te ayudo. A lo mejor la palabra está debajo de la mesa. To look for a word, no. To look for a telephone number in the telephone book, no. To look up a word, to look up a telephone number, to look up a timetable for the train. What time does the train leave the station? What time does the train arrive at the destination? I don't know. Look it up. It's your problem. Okay? Look it up. Y cuando es plural, look them up. Búscalos en el diccionario. Búscalas, las palabras. Look them up. Look it up. Look it up. Look them up. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes after our next teacher.
Gracias, Richard. My name's David Waddell, and it's time to put into practice what he has just taught us, which is the phrasal verb to look into. To look into. And with me is Mamen. How are you today, Mamen?
Hi, I'm fine.
You're fine?
Fine,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you. Yes.
We're doing a phrasal verb. Does that worry you a little bit?
Phrasal verb. There are so many that. But
there are so many. Yeah,
some,
it's true. It's true.
Yes.
But little by little, we can sort of learn one by one.
Yes.
So to look into. So today, to look into means, of course, investigar.
Yeah.
Or mirar, yeah, to look into something. But it also can mean considerar or estudiar, posibilidades, look into a possibility.
Okay.
Or to look into alternatives, yeah? So it has two meanings, really.
Okay.
So what we will do is, as always, I will ask you some questions and you will answer in the affirmative.
Okay.
And also, I will get you to ask me some questions, which is very important. So you form the interrogative. But first of all, you will answer, okay?
Okay.
So the first one is, Will you look into the matter lately? Now, matter is asunto, yeah?
Yeah.
Will you look into the matter lately?
Yes, I will. I will look.
With a contraction, better, yeah?
I will. I'll look into the matter lately.
Later. Más tarde.
Lately.
I'll look
Later.
into the matter
Yeah.
later. One more time?
Yes, I'll look into the matter later.
Later, yeah. There was a little pause there. One more time.
Yes, I'll look into the matter later.
Okay, not bad. One more time.
Yes, I'll look into the matter later.
Very good, okay. At home, will you look into the matter later? Okay, say yes. Very good. I'll look into the matter later. I'll look into the matter later. Yes, I'll look into the matter later. Matter later. Next one, okay. Did you ask him to look into it yesterday?
Yes, I asked him to look into it yesterday.
Very good, repeat.
Yes, I asked him to look into it yesterday.
Good. Ask in the past is very difficult. Asked.
Yeah.
I asked him. I asked him.
Yes.
I asked him. I asked him. I asked him to look into the matter. One more time.
I asked him to look into the matter.
Perfect.
yesterday.
Okay, let's do another one. Did they ask you to look into the problem?
Yes,
Did they ask you
Yes.
to look into the problem?
yes, they asked me.
Asked me.
Yeah, they asked me to look into the problem.
One more time. Very
Yes,
good.
they asked me to look into the problem. There are so many.
I know.
Yes,
But that's
you know.
English. That's English.
Yes, I know.
Okay, at home, did they ask you to look into the problem? Did they ask you to look into the problem? Yes, they asked me to look into the problem. They asked me to look into the problem. Okay, one more. Did he ask them to look into it? Did he ask them to look into it? Yes.
Yes, he asked them to look into it.
Very good. He asked them to look into it. One more time.
Yes, he asked them to look into it.
Very good. One more time.
Yes, he asked them to look into it.
Okay, at home, did he ask them to look into it? DKC? Yes, he asked them to look into it. One more time. Very good. Okay, the next one. Have they looked into it?
Yes,
Have they looked into it? Present perfect. We've just looked at present perfect, remember?
yes,
Have they looked into it?
yes, they have looked into it.
Okay, now with a contraction. Yes.
Yes, they've looked into it.
Whoa, okay,
No,
it's good, it's good.
They've looked into it.
They've looked into it. They've looked into it.
They've looked into it.
One more time.
They've looked into it.
They've looked into it. Okay, not bad. Okay. Have they looked into it? Yes, they've looked into it. They've looked into it. Present perfect. They have, contraction, they've, kind of F it, really.
Yeah.
They've looked into it. They've looked into it. Mamin, one more time.
Okay. Yes, they've looked. Oh.
Wow, yeah,
Wait.
Lo sabía.
Yes, but they learn more. They've looked into it.
Looked into it.
Looked into it.
They've looked into it.
They've looked into it.
Okay, they've looked into it. They've looked into it. They've looked into it. The past of look is looked. So
Yes.
they've looked into it. They've looked into
It's a
it.
little tongue twister.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister. Very good.
Yes.
Yeah, trebalenguas. It's a tongue twister. Let's do another one. Will you look into it?
Yes, I looked into it.
Will you look into it?
Yes, I will. I'll looked into it. Sorry.
Don't worry.
I'll look into it.
I'll look into it. Yes, I'll look into it. At home, will you look into it? Yes, I'll look into it. Repeat. Yes, I'll look into it. I'll look into it. The future with will.
Yeah.
I'll look into it. Next one. Did you look into it yesterday? Did you look into it yesterday?
Yes, I looked into it yesterday.
I looked into it yesterday. Very good. One more time.
Yes, I looked into it yesterday.
Yesterday. Yes, I looked into it yesterday. One more time.
Yes, I looked into it yesterday.
Okay, at home. Did you look into it yesterday? Yes, I looked into it yesterday. Yes, I looked into it yesterday. Now you have to ask the question. So ask me if I'll look into it tonight.
Will you look into it tonight?
Will you?
Will you look into it tonight?
Not will you. Will you?
Will you look into it tonight?
Very good. Ask me at home if I'll look into it tonight. Will you look into it tonight? Will you look into it tonight? Will you? Not will you. Will you? Will you? Okay, one more. Ask me if I looked into it yesterday.
Did you look into it yesterday?
Very good. That was good. Okay, one more time.
Did you look into it yesterday?
Perfect. One more time.
Did you look into it yesterday?
Perfect. One more time.
Did you look into it yesterday?
Yes, I looked into it yesterday. Okay, ask me at home, ask me if I looked into it yesterday. Ask me if I looked into it yesterday. Did you look into it yesterday? Did you look into it yesterday? That was very good. Let's try one more. Ask me if my sister has looked into it too.
Has your sister looked into it too?
Nearly.
Nearly,
I didn't hear
because
the
yes.
looked.
Yes, I know.
One more time.
Has your sister looked into it
Two.
too?
También. One more time.
Has your sister looked into it too?
Very good. Present perfect. Very good.
Yeah.
One more time.
Has your sister looked into it too?
Very good. Okay. Ask me if my sister has looked into it. Ask me if my sister has looked into it too. Has your sister looked into it too? Has your sister looked into it too? Has your sister looked into it too? We have time for just one more, I think.
Okay.
Ask me if I always look into all the possibilities.
Do you always look into all the possibilities?
Very good. Repeat. Excellent.
Do you always look into all the possibilities?
Yes, I always look into all the possibilities at home. Ask me if I always look into all the possibilities. Do you always look into all the possibilities? So to look into, investigar,
Yeah.
it can be estudiar, mirar, considerar, all these sort of things. Now it's very, very important that you practice this phrasal verb at home. And the only way to practice is to repeat and to repeat and to repeat. It's the only way.
It's the only way.
That way it gets into your head.
Yes.
And you will never forget it, I promise. So now I'm going to leave you with Richard, and until next time, thank you very much, Marmin, and thank you at
Thank
home.
you, David.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Gaspar Melchor de Jovellanos? Yes? You've heard of him? Who was he? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. He was an important writer, sometimes a politician, a thinker during the second half of the 18th century and the very first years of the 19th century. Okay, so you've heard of him, okay. I have more questions like this on camera number 1. Have you heard of? Have you ever heard of? Have you ever heard of? Heard of? Have you ever heard of Descarga Maria? Yeah, from the segment before. It's a town in Cáceres, a small town in Cáceres in the area of Las Urdes, okay? Descarga Maria, near, all right? Have you ever heard of Valle del Tabladillo? No? You've never heard of Valle del Tabladillo? It's a small town, very small town in Segovia, near Sepúlveda. Have you ever heard of Zorrito de los Canes? No? Okay, it's a very small town, an important town many years ago, in the province of Guadalajara, not far from Pastrana. Okay, not far from Pastrana. Have you ever heard of Betanzos? Yes? Okay, it's in La Coruña. Have you ever heard of Sort? No? Sort is a small town in the province of Lérida on the way to the mountains. Very beautiful area in that area. Okay. Have you ever heard of Baza? No? You've never heard of Baza. It's a town I think in the province of Jaén or in the province of Granada or Almería. I think it's in Jaén. Nope, it's in Granada. Maria, it's in Granada. Okay. All right. But it's near Jaén. It's in that area. And near Almería. Maria's from that area. She's from Almería. All right. And have you ever heard of Bertram? Bertram, con un M al final, y R antes, no Beltrán. Have you ever heard of Bertram? No? Bertram is an important town, very important town in Texas. Yeah. The population is about 800 people. And it was founded by my great-grandfather, okay? And the main street, calle principal, is Vaughan Street. So yeah, I've heard of Bertram. Have you ever heard of, has oído hablar de, ¿sabes quién es? O te suena el nombre, okay? Have you heard of, el ever is opcional. Have you heard of Dag Hammarskjöld? No? Never. You've never heard of, no about. Si yo pregunto, have you heard about Dag Hammarskjöld? Sería, oye, ¿has oído lo último, lo que cuentan los rumores, lo último sobre ese Dag Hammarskjöld? It's heard about. Entonces hay una diferencia total entre to hear about and to hear of. El verbo. Literalmente, has oído de. Have you heard of Dag Hammarskjöld? Dag Hammarskjöld was the Secretary General of the United Nations in the part of the 1950s and early 1960s. He died in a plane crash. He died in a plane crash in the Congo, in Africa, during the Congolese crisis, el Congo belga en aquel entonces, the Belgian Congo. Some people think it was not an accident. Some people think it was the plane was shot down. Dag Hammarskjöld. So you've never heard of Dag Hammarskjöld. Have you ever heard of Bhutan? No, it's a country. It's a country next to Nepal in the Himalayas. It's a principality, un principado. You've never heard of Bhutan? Okay. Have you ever heard of Liechtenstein? Yes, okay. It's in the Tyrol area. It's in the mountains between Austria and Switzerland. It's between Austria and Switzerland. Okay. Have you ever heard, no me sale. Have you ever heard of Berrocalejo? No. You've never heard of Berrocalejo. Well, there are two Berrocalejos in Spain, eh? I'm referring to the Berrocalejo in Cáceres. It's a town, a small village. The moment you pass from Toledo to Cáceres, you have Berrocalejo. Okay? You have Berrocalejo. Now, have you ever heard of Oropesa? Of course you have. There are two, Oropesa del Mar and Oropesa in Toledo. Okay, so you've heard of that. Have you ever heard of Toledo? Yes. It's an important city in the United States on Lake Erie, okay, in the state of Ohio. Toledo, Ohio. Okay. So you've heard of Toledo. Have you ever heard of Barbra Streisand? Yes? Okay. Okay. Have you ever heard of Paul Newman? Of course I've heard of Paul Newman. Everybody knows who Paul Newman was. Okay. Have you ever heard of Harrison Ford? Of course I've heard of Harrison Ford. Everybody has heard of Harrison Ford. Have you ever heard of Gino Lollobrigida? Me suena. Yeah. It rings a bell. Ding, ding, ding. Ello toca una campana. Okay? Así se dice. Me suena. It rings a bell. She's an actress. Yes. She's an Italian actress. Gina Lollobrigida. Have you ever heard of Silvana, what's her name? Anna Magnani. No, I've never heard of her. Who is she? Well, she's dead now, but she was a very famous Italian actress in the 1940s and 1950s and 1960s. Okay. Have you ever heard of Andrew Johnson? Andrew Jackson? No, Andrew Jackson, no, Andrew Johnson. No, I haven't. I've never heard of Andrew Johnson. Who was he? Well, he was the president after Abraham Lincoln. When Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in the Ford Theater in Washington, D.C., the vice president at that time was Andrew Johnson, and he became the president after Lincoln was assassinated. Have you ever heard of Cánovas del Castillo? You have? He was a Spanish politician and thinker and writer. Have you ever heard of Winston Churchill? Of course, everybody has heard of Winston Churchill. All right. Have you ever heard of George Patton? Yes, I've heard of George Patton, but I don't remember. Who was he? He was a very famous general, American general in the Second World War. Los tanques, Patton. Ah, yeah. Yes, I've heard of Patton. I've heard of Patton. Okay. Sé quién es. Me suena su nombre. I've heard of him. of siempre, nunca about aquí. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes to close the program.
All right, thank you very much, Richard, and welcome. Welcome. My name is Kyle, as you probably know, and I'm here today with Nacho. Nacho, how are you?
Fine, thanks. Hello, Kyle.
Good,
How are you?
good. And we're going to start today with our 5 words of vocabulary, okay? The first word is blandura. Blandura. How do you say that in English?
Okay, I think it's softness.
Softness. Softness. Softness. Repeat.
Softness.
Softness. The T, you can hear the T, but it's very,
Yes.
it's very soft.
It's very soft.
The softness of the T.
Yes.
Softness. Okay. Okay. And then we have silenciosamente. Silenciosamente.
Quietly.
Quietly. Quietly. En casa? Quietly. 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 Okay. Repeat everything I say. Do not repeat quietly. Repeat it loud, en voz alta, right?
Yes.
The louder the better,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Okay.
Altura. Altura in English? At home, how do you say altura?
Height.
Height. Height with a T.
Okay.
Height. Height. Height.
Height.
La altura.
Okay.
Yeah, the height of something.
height.
La altura de algo. The height. Height. Okay? Concienzudo. Concienzudo. How do you say that in English?
Oh, that one is difficult. It's like conscientious or
Conscientious.
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 Okay, conscientious. Okay, very good. Conscientious. Very good. And tomar prestado.
To borrow.
To
think.
borrow.
Yeah,
To
okay.
borrow. That's right.
Okay.
I borrow something from you. Tomar prestado. Y prestar is to
Lend.
lend. So if I lend my pen to Nacho, I lend to him, and he borrows the pen from me. Borrow from, lend to. Okay? Good job. All right. We're going to practice this interesting structure. Has oído hablar de... Have you heard of... Nacho, have you heard of the Beatles?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I've heard of the Beatles.
Yes, I have heard for the Beatles.
I've heard of the Beatles.
Yes, I've heard for the Beatles.
I've heard of.
Of. Okay.
Yes, I've heard of the Beatles. Repeat.
Yes, I've heard of the Beatles.
Yes, of course I've heard of the
Yes.
Beatles. They're famous.
Very famous.
Right? Have you heard of Niagara Falls?
Yes, I have heard of the Niagara Falls.
Now, we don't need the article.
I know.
Yes, I've heard of Niagara Falls.
Okay.
And we're going to use the contraction. Yes, I've heard of Niagara Falls. Repeat.
Yes, I've heard of Niagara Falls.
Niagara.
Niagara.
Yes,
Falls.
I've
Yeah.
heard of Niagara Falls. Have you
Okay.
heard of Iguazu Falls?
Yes.
Or Iguazu, I suppose.
Iguazu.
Have you heard of Iguazu Falls?
Yes, I have heard of.
Give me the contraction.
Yeah,
Yes, I've.
Yes, I've heard of Iguazu, or.
Yes,
something-
Iguazu Falls.
Iguazu Falls.
Sure. Have you heard of Martians?
No.
You've never heard of them?
I never see one of them.
Well, I've never seen them either, but I've heard of them.
I heard, yeah, many
I
people
don't
talking.
I don't know if Martians exist.
We don't
right?
know.
People from creatures from Mars, but I've heard of them.
Yeah, heard, yeah.
You've heard of them?
Yeah, I've heard it of Martians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Harrison Ford? Have you ever heard of Harrison Ford, the famous actor? Have you heard of him? Yeah, you've heard of him? Out loud. Yes, I've heard of Harrison Ford, of course.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of James Naismith?
Well, yes, or.
Have you?
I think, or
Be
no.
honest. Be honest with me,
Okay,
Nacho.
no.
Have you
No,
heard
I
of
was joking. No, I've never heard of James
James Naismith?
Naismith.
James
Never.
Naismith. No, I've never heard. He's never heard of James Naismith.
No.
Have you ever heard of James Naismith? No? I'll tell you who he is.
Yeah.
He was a guy born in Canada, and he moved to the United States and invented basketball.
Oh, really?
He's the inventor of basketball,
Wow.
James Naismith. Yeah.
Oh, good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Have you ever heard of AC/DC,
Yeah, of course.
the rock band?
Yes, I have. I've heard of AC/DC.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Cherry Coke?
Yes, of course. And I taste that.
Have you ever heard of Cherry Coke? Yeah, I've heard of.
Yeah, I have heard of Cherry Coke.
Okay. Have you
Yeah.
ever heard of Cherry Coke? Yeah. Do you like Cherry Coke?
No, not so much.
No?
No.
Coca-Cola with cherry. But you don't like it?
No, it's better than normal one. Yeah.
Oh. Have you ever? Well, ask me if I've ever heard of Las Fallas.
Okay.
I'm a guiri. Maybe I don't know. Ask me if I've ever
Maybe.
heard of Las Fallas.
Have you ever
Heard.
Yeah.
Heard of.
I know heard of.
Hey Kyle, have you ever heard of Las Fallas? Ask me.
Hey Kyle, have you ever heard of Las Fallas?
Yes, of course, of course. Ask me if I've ever heard of Isabel Pantoja.
Okay, okay, Kyle.
Ask me.
Have you ever heard about Isabel Pantoja?
Heard of.
I always say about. Yeah.
Hey Kyle, have you ever heard of? Have you ever heard of?
Have you ever heard of Isabel Pantoja?
Yes, of course, I've heard of Isabel Pantoja.
Of course.
Ask me if I've ever heard of Manolete.
Manolete. Wow. Kyle, have you ever heard of Manolete?
Yes, of course I've heard of Manolete. Very famous.
In Spain, really famous.
Very
yeah.
famous. Ask me if I've ever heard of Don Quixote. Ask me. Hey Kyle, have you ever heard of Don Quixote? En voz alta. Have you ever heard of Don Quixote? Yes, of course I've heard of Don Quixote. Yes.
Yes.
Ask me if I've ever heard of La Tomatina.
Wow. Okay, Kyle, have you ever heard of La Tomatina?
Yes, I have. It's
Yes.
that party, right, in
Yeah.
Buñol.
Okay.
Buñol? Where they
Yes.
they throw
have
tomatoes.
Millions of tomatoes.
It's a big
yeah.
party, and they throw tomatoes at each other.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
It sounds like fun. Ask me if I've ever heard of Miguel Bosé.
Okay, Kyle, have you ever heard of Miguel Bosé?
Yes, I've heard of Miguel Bosé. Ask me if I've ever heard of Victorino Martín.
Well, have you ever heard about Victorino Martín?
Heard of?
Have you ever heard of Victorino Martín?
Yeah, the Bulls, right? The
Yeah.
famous Bulls. Of course, I've heard of them. Very good. And we are actually. I think we're done. We're finished. We're completely out of time.
Oh.
Good job today. Thank you very much, Nacho.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good job. You've heard of a
Thank
lot
you.
of things.
Yeah.
And see you next time. Bye bye.
Okay, we finished another class, class number 82. We're moving forward slowly. Maybe for some of you, we're moving forward too slowly. In my opinion, we're not. You need to be patient and you need to be humble. Un poco de humildad. Humble, con H, escrito. Humble. Humility is one of the most important attributes that you need to possess in the learning process. An open mind and a humble attitude, y la disposición, the willingness to follow a good teacher, step by step, and don't question the teacher. We are going to go slowly and surely, step by step, consolidating a good mastery of the English language. It will take time, but we are going to succeed. Okay, see you tomorrow.